And this is my story. Hello, I'm Betty, and I'll tell you my special childhood. A childhood in which I lived with the spotlight that many wanted. I grew up with my single mother. She was still young, beautiful, and attractive. She cared about appearance a lot. Ever since I was still a child, I was taught to pay attention to my own appearance. She would put her makeup on me, even though I didn't like it. I know she loved me and always wanted me to live in the spotlight, because she had always wanted me to be a child model. When I was 9 years old, one time my mom took me shopping at the Central Mall when the street fashion event was going on. It was held all around the country where all amateur and professional models dressed up gorgeously and came up to pose for pictures and to perform freely. That week, the event welcomed all ages, from the old to the young, from professional to amateur. It went without saying about the spread and bustle of this festival. At the city square in front of the Central Mall, I saw people gathered around the models with different styles clothes. They were doing catwalks and posing for pictures. This caught my mom's attention because for such a long time, she wanted me to be a model. She pulled me into the crowd with the child models where she saw the kids that were around my age performing professionally. They looked so gorgeous and confident in the high fashion dresses. My mom started asking the crowd around us and heard that these girls were being well paid. Her face lit up in excitement. She merrily pointed at the models and said to me, "Do you see them? They are so fabulous and are all sought after. I believe you can do it too." That night, I saw my mom busily making phone calls to rent clothes and to find people. She said, "Darling, the chance of being a star has beamed upon you. Tomorrow, I'll let you perform at the square." The following morning, when the street fashion was still happening, my mom woke me up early and took me to the square. She even rented a professional makeup artist and a photographer. After patiently sitting on a chair for 2 hours, I was turned into another person. My mom pulled me into the crowd and ordered me to pose, to walk like the other child models, and the photographer would be following me and capturing my moments. Even though I didn't like being a star and just wanted to play dolls with friends my age, I still did what my mom told me to. To be honest, I had a bit of an artistic skills, and my mom also made me take classes on dancing, so posing for pictures wasn't so hard for me. I just did what my gut told me. A bit later, a man approached us. He had watched me from the crowd for some time. He dressed nicely and fashionable. Then he gave my mom his name card saying that he saw potential in me, so he offered me a chance to take classes at his model training center. He would also reduce the cost as well. My mom didn't waste this opportunity. She took his card and quickly signed me up for his classes. It was a famous training center in my area. Many top models were from this very center. For the first time in my life, I came to such a place. And days after that, I went through a very rough training. I learned how to walk, how to stand, how to walk with heels, dancing, performing. The time I spent in the training room was more than at home and school, but my mom still passionately took me there every day because she believed that this would make me shine like a star in the future. I was feeling sorry for my mom, but at the same time, I was feeling uncomfortable because all I wanted was to have fun and go to school like the kids my age. This had never been my dream. I started having my first shows, but I started as a submodel in the show. When it was showtime, my feet were still swollen red because of the many days of training on high heels. I couldn't even walk straight. When I walked out onto the stage, I tried to walk straight, but my feet hurt so much, so I tripped and my heel broke. But still, I calmly stood up, took my heels off, and continued like nothing happened. Right when I did that, the whole crowd stood up and applauded. I was like the center of the show. After that accident, my name started popping up in magazines, and I was praised for how professionally I handled it. Videos of my performance went viral, and then I quickly got myself into the top child model list. A lot of fashion designers, show organizers started inviting me to larger shows. My success made my mom more and more passionate about investing in my career. She was willing to spend money just for me to wear clothes that cost millions, to have high-end photo shoots to appear on newspapers and magazines, as well as for me to perform at more events. Even though I started wearing expensive clothing, I still didn't enjoy it because I was forced into a routine that was difficult and painful, which I had never been through. While friends my age could eat pizzas or fried chicken carefully, I had to follow a strict diet made by a professional, which starved me to death after hours of training exhaustingly. I also had to train a lot, sometimes until so late that I got so exhausted I fell asleep at the training room. Having my feet bleed or injured because of using heels seemed to happen daily. I tried to escape from that class, pretended to be sick so I could stay at home, or think up countless reasons just to skip the training. I told my mom that I was too tired and I didn't want to be a model anymore. But my mom always encouraged me and said that the money I earned from performing could help us pay rent or move to a larger, more comfortable house. I love my mom, so I tried to endure the pressure. Years went by. I became a 15-year-old girl. I became even more beautiful and graceful after puberty. I started to be the presentative face for a lot of brands. A famous lipstick brand invited me to be their brand face, but they suggested that if my lips were plumper, it would be the perfect for the shoot of the product. They convinced me and my mom and benefits with reassuring words, "It'll be fine," made my mom insisting on injecting filler into my lips to make them plumper, to enhance the beauty when putting on lipstick. Even though I was scared because I had never been through surgery, my mom said this would be the rise of my career if I accepted this offer. Therefore, I went through my first body modification. And like my mom said, the ad campaign received massive success. The pictures of my face with my plump, juicy lips spread all over the city. After that success, more and more ad contracts started rolling in. I was invited to be in another ad campaign worldwide. That brand suggested that I should fix my nose to achieve the ideal look, to make the album even more perfect. And like the last time, my mom decided to make me undergo surgery to fix my nose. At that time, I was only 15 years old. Because I needed to be at least 18 to get approval for official plastic surgery, my mom took me to an underground hospital. The surgery was more painful than I expected. But for my mom and for the success would come after it, I endured it all. It was said that my nose needed 1 week to heal. But 1 week later, my face was still swollen and bruised. The doctor said that this was normal and we shouldn't worry, even though I was still very scared because my face started deforming and it felt extremely painful. They just gave me painkillers and normal antibiotics. Days after that, my face got even more swollen and my eyes started to blur even though they were perfect before. At the end of the second week, things got worse. I couldn't bear the deformed, swollen face with cracks from the nose that bled. I screamed and started crying. My mom was very worried and panicked. She hugged me and also burst into tears. I was sent into the ER and was diagnosed that the nasal cartilage they planted in wasn't compatible with my body. Had I not found this out sooner, my nose would have had to been cut off and my eyesight would be 80% worse than before. But luckily, I was treated in time. I went through many months of treatment to fix them all. My mom just looked at me with regret. She immediately canceled all the ad contracts and spent all her time with me to take care of me. So now, I have returned to school, even though I was a bit behind from everyone else, but I could finally be a normal belly like any other girl.
Thank you guys very much for watching.
Damage Cloud, and thank you. Dude, subscribe, and like, and subscribe, and like.